If you've been eating clean, but you are still finding it hard to lose fat, chances are that you are eating more than your body needs. Some of you think that clean eating or healthy eating is the same thing as eating for fat loss. No, they are not the same. You can be eating healthy and you'll be gaining weight. You can be eating healthy and you will still not lose weight. This is because you need to know the amount of food you should be eating to achieve fat loss. And most of you don't even know, how much should I be eating for fat loss? It varies for different individuals. How much I should be eating for fat loss is not the same as how much you should be eating for fat loss. And that is what brings us to today's topic: how to track your calories for fat loss, beginner friendly methods for women. This is going to be a very deep masterclass. So I want you to get your pen and your paper, because you're going to be learning a whole lot from this masterclass. After this session, you're going to leave understanding the concept behind fat loss. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Chisom. I'm a biochemist. I'm an online fitness coach for women. I'm an international fitness coach. So I train women from different parts of the world, from the US to UK to Nigeria to Canada to Ghana to Rwanda. I help women through the help of this internet space to achieve their desired physique goal. And I am here to help you understand how to track your calories for fat loss. So do well to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos from me. Trust me, if you watch my videos back to back, you will definitely be able to achieve your desired physique goal with the right knowledge. All right, so let's dive into today's video, shall we? For you to understand how to track your calories for fat loss, I'm going to be establishing what is calories. Now, so many of you keep asking, calorie. What is this calorie thing I'm always hearing? Like, hey, anytime you hear calories, this is your face. You're like, so you understand what calories is today. You also get to understand your maintenance calorie. How much should you be eating to maintain your weight? Because if you understand this will help you know what is calorie deficit. This is going to be one of the most important things you learn today, because calorie deficit equals fat loss. And from this, you will now get to know how many calories does a woman need to burn fat. You will know how much do you need to be eating to burn fat. Then we'll now go ahead to establish how to track the calories in your meal for fat loss, because this would help you be in a calorie deficit. What is calories? Calorie is simply energy, fuel, the energy supply which a food item gives you, which is literally the fuel which we humans we run on. That is calories. Now, the same way a car needs fuel to function, that's the same way we humans, we need calories to function. Okay, that is why you eat, because food is fuel. The energy you get from a food item is calories. The size of a food is not necessarily what determines the calorie of the food. No, but what determines the calorie of the food is the food's macronutrient composition. We have 3 essential macronutrients, which is carbohydrate, protein, and fat. So depending on the food item and the macronutrient composition, that will determine the calorie count of that food item. I'll explain. So for carbohydrates, 1 gram of carbohydrate, you will get 4 calories. In 1 gram of protein, you will get 4 calories. In 1 gram of fat, you will get 9 calories. That is why many a times we always shout and say, hey, please, be watchful of the amount of oil in your food. Be watchful of the amount of fat that you put in your food. Why? Because fat is calorie dense. Fat gives you much more fuel, much more energy. That is why you need to be careful with how much oils, how much fat you put in your food, because they are not even big. They are not like dense like carbohydrates and protein, yet they give you more fuel, more energy. So that is how you determine the calorie count of a food item, based on what is the food macro nutrients. So now, what is maintenance calorie? It's simply how much fuel you need to maintain your weight. My own maintenance calorie is not going to be the same as your own maintenance calorie. Why? Because of different activity level, genetics, your current weight. Now, why is knowing your maintenance calorie important? Because if you know how much you should be eating to maintain your current weight, it will help us in establishing what is going to be your calorie deficit. To calculate your maintenance calorie, your weight in pounds times 14. If you don't know your weight in pounds and what you know is your weight in kg, simply multiply your current weight in kilograms times 2.2. My weight in pounds. Please note, the final answer was gotten based on my own details. My own weight in pounds is 146.4. Just so you're not confused. So for me to maintain my weight, I need to be eating 2050 calories every day. The average woman, based on research and studies, the average woman requires 2000 calories to maintain her weight. Whereas for the average man, he requires 2500 calories to maintain his weight. Men require more calories because of their muscle mass. You need more fuel to maintain muscle. That's why men, they can eat more and they will still be able to lose fat than we ladies. So now, what is calorie deficit? Calorie deficit equals fat loss. If you are consuming less amount of fuel than your body needs, you are definitely going to lose fat. If each day I am eating lower than these 2050 calories, my body will have no other choice but to tap into my fat cell or my muscle cell to make up for the needed amount of calories to maintain my weight. The reason why you store fat is because your body is simply storing the excess energy. It's storing the excess calories for rainy days. All right. So for days where you eat way small, maybe like somebody gave you heartbreak and you could not eat that day, you're tired, you will not die because you have enough fat stores. So your body will go and tap into that fat store to rejuvenate itself. Mind you, we don't want our body to tap into our muscle cells to make up for itself. We want to focus on our body tapping into our fat cells to make up for the energy it needs, because that is how you achieve fat loss, not weight loss. Yes, I was intentional when I wrote fat loss because you want to preserve your muscle. Remember, men, the reason why they can eat more and burn fat is because of they have more muscle mass. So when you preserve your muscle mass, it will make fat loss easy for you because you don't have to eat so little to lose fat. If you eat too little because you want to lose fat, you're going to lose weight. Both your body fat and muscle mass would be lost. If you lose a lot of muscle mass, you're going to be left flabby, skinny fat, and we don't want that. That is why you will need to be on the right calorie deficit for you to lose fat, which I'm going to help you know how much you should be eating to achieve fat loss, not weight loss. So for the average size woman, who is the average size woman? Me, I'm an average size woman. You're not so much on the big side. You just have some problem areas that you would like to lose, like your back fat, your belly fat, your arms. You're an average size woman. This is how you're going to get your calorie deficit. You're going to do your maintenance calorie, which is this 2050. Your maintenance calories minus 10% of your maintenance calorie. That is how you get your CD, which is your calorie deficit. So what is 10% of 2050? For you people that used to pay your tithe, you should know already how to calculate 10%. So that is 2050 minus 205. My own is 205. So calculate your own. Your maintenance calorie minus 10% of your maintenance calorie. Okay? Subtract it. What did you get? What did you get? Me, I'm getting 1845 calories. Okay? So this here is my own calorie deficit. This is how much I should be eating for fat loss. What is your own? Don't worry, for my ladies that have more body fat percentage, I'm coming to you. Okay, we're going to calculate your own. All right, so this one is for ladies that your average size, you just want to lose fat from your problem areas like your belly fat while maintaining your curves, while maintaining your glutes. Okay, so you're just going to be on a 10% calorie deficit. Yours, I'm sure you've calculated it now. That is how much you should be eating to achieve fat loss. For my ladies that you have much more body fat percentage to lose, okay, how do you calculate your own? Your maintenance calorie, which is this, minus 25% of your maintenance calorie. If you go above 25%, you're going to lose a lot of muscle mass while you're on your fat loss journey. If the individual is morbidly obese, I'm talking about 600 lb, 700 pounds, if that individual is that big, you can go higher on your calorie deficit because you have so much weight to lose, and the person can't really do exercise like that. The person can actually go on a 50% deficit just so that they can start losing fat in a speedy rate because of their health, because at that point their health is at risk, so they can go higher on their deficit. You should know the category you fall under. Okay, so use your own maintenance calorie. Mine now is 2050 minus 25% of 2050, 512.5. I'll just round it up. Okay, so you do the calculation and you get, this is what I got, 1537 calories. If I were to be on the bigger side, this is how much I should be eating for fat loss. I'll show you a picture of when I first started my fat loss journey. Here I was like on a way bigger side, so I would be eating on a 1537 calorie range for me to start out my fat loss journey at this stage. Now this is also because at that stage I'm not really active, like I'm not used to working out that much, so I want most of my deficits to come from my nutrition. Since we've established this, now we can go, how many calories does a woman need to burn fat? We've already answered this by this. All right, now tell me, how much do you need to be eating to burn fat? Write it down in the comment section now. Okay, I'm sure you've calculated yours. If you are following, you must have calculated yours. So write it down in the comment section now. Write out your own. Is it 1500? Is it 1700, 1800? Write it in the comment section. Okay, so I know that you are following. So this leads us to how to track the calories in your meal for fat loss. For this, I will give you one of the simplest methods. The first method is the hand rule and plate rule method. For this method, you would also need a calorie counter app to support you. You would also need ChatGPT. Then the second method, which is like one of the most accurate methods, that is going to be food scale method. Okay, so for you to track the calories in your meal to achieve fat loss, you will need to know how to portion your meal first in the simplest methods. Now, the hand rule method and the plate rule method would help you achieve good portion control of your meal. For the hand rule method, this is where you use your palm size to gauge the amount of portion that should be in your food. On your plate, you should aim for a fist size portion of carbohydrates on your plate, a palm size portion of protein on your plate. We are aiming for palm size because protein would help keep you staying more satisfied, and it will also help you preserve your muscle mass. While for fat, you want to aim for a thumb size portion because fat is calorie dense. So many a times fat is already in the food, like let's say your stew or the sauce that you would eat with your rice. You already used some oil to prepare that sauce, so you just want to ensure that when you're preparing the food itself, you use like a small amount of fat when preparing your food. So many a times you can just omit fat, like omit putting actual fat on the food, so it's already in the cooking process, so you don't need to put that on your plate. Then you should aim for 2 fist size portion of vegetable on your plate, because vegetable is going to help keep you feeling full. Now, calorie count is not like everything per se. The quality of your food is also very, very important for achieving fat loss, because you can just serve rice on your plate, maybe like 500 calorie of rice on your plate, and you just eat it plain. I mean, you're going to be on a calorie deficit, but you're going to get hungry soon. Why? Because white rice is a simple carb and your body digests it fast, and it will also spike your insulin level because of the lack of fiber in the rice. Even if you're on a calorie deficit from just eating plain rice, you're most likely going to binge eat because it didn't keep you feeling satisfied. It didn't reduce like insulin spike. So you want to make sure that you're eating a balanced meal. In all your meals, you're eating a balanced meal, right? You're prioritizing protein, carbohydrates, vegetables, fat and oil, and in a limited amount on your plate. So that is the aim, right? So if you portion your food like that, you're most likely going to achieve a calorie deficit. If the hand rule method is kind of confusing you, you can use the plate rule method. This is where you're going to share your plate into 3 sections. You're going to have your plate looking like this, okay? This quarter of your plate, you fill it with carbohydrate, this quarter with protein, and this half, you fill it with vegetable. All right, vegetable should make a huge chunk of your plate to increase the fiber content of your food, to help keep you satisfied, to regulate your insulin level. If you eat foods that spike insulin, you're going to be dealing with binge eating cravings. That is why most of you are binge eating. You're like, oh my god, I find it hard to stick to portion control. Or I'm binge eating. Your portion control is you. On your plate, you just serve small rice like this and one meat. How would you stick to this? This will not keep you feeling satisfied. Okay, mind you, the goal is not to like be full, is to be satisfied. They are different. You can eat, you're like, you feel satisfied, where your body is, you're just okay, you're not so full. All right, that's the aim. So if you're just eating small rice like this, you put on your plate, and one tiny meat, and you're saying, oh, this is portion control, sis, after a while you're gonna be hungry. That is why you add vegetables to your plate, and add like a palm-sized portion of meat. Remember, I said your cooking method is so important. You want to make sure that that meat, the protein, is not fried, because if it's deep fried, that is increased calories, fat. So you want to make sure that you are limiting the amount of fat and oil in your food. So you rather go for grilled meat or boiled meat, and that is going to help like reduce the calorie content of that food. So the first way to track your calorie is by first getting your portions right. So after you've plated your food like that on your plate, then you will now come to your calorie counter app. You can use MyFitnessPal. I'll list all the apps on the screen. Okay, so you can use any of these apps to help you track your calories. So you just take a picture of the food, you take a picture, and it will give you the calorie range of your food. Each meal, you want to aim for average size woman 500 to 550 calories per meal. Now for you that you have a larger fat percentage, you're going to be aiming for 400 to 500 calorie per meal. Okay, so when you snap it on MyFitnessPal, it will show you, oh, how many calories is in this meal. Now, if what you have on your plate, what the calorie counter app is showing you is higher, you want to now reduce some things on the plate. Maybe reduce the portion of rice on your plate, or anywhere you can reduce the portion, you just reduce, so that you can be able to achieve this calorie range per meal. Okay, another method is ChatGPT. If these calorie counter apps are confusing you, you can make use of ChatGPT. Me personally, I use ChatGPT. All right, I can take a picture and just put it in ChatGPT and say, oh, give me the total calorie range, calorie count of this food. I will tell ChatGPT that, okay, what is on this plate is one fist-sized portion of rice, like a drumstick of chicken, it was grilled or boiled, and vegetable, whichever vegetable that is there. So you just give ChatGPT all the info of the food that you have on your plate, and it will help you to calculate your calorie range. Now, if you want a very, very accurate method. When I mean accurate to the T, you're going to get a food scale. Personally, I don't use a food scale. The method I use has worked for me, has been okay for me. So I've not really seen the need to get a food scale. But some people, food scale really helps them, really works for them. Okay, so for food scale, you just want to be measuring your food on a scale. You measure out how many grams of rice you're aiming for about 100 grams of rice, and you calculate maybe with ChatGPT or the calorie counter app to know, okay, what will 100 grams of rice give me? That's about 250 calories thereabout. Okay, you check that. Okay, you will now get your meat. If it's chicken thigh, chicken breast, you measure it. Using food scale will help you get a very, very accurate calorie range, okay, because the food is measured in grams, so you can get the most accurate calorie range. If you want that, you can get a food scale. So from following this, you will be able to achieve a calorie deficit with ease. Okay, so for those of you that you will need more assistance, support in the area of nutrition, you want to be able to achieve a calorie deficit without stressing so much, I created a meal plan that would be of help to you. In this meal plan, I've done the hard work for you, calculated the calorie of each food item. I gave specific portioning of each food to help you achieve fat loss. Now, this meal plan is linked in the description box below, or you can check the pinned comment for the meal plan. All right, this is going to be a game changer for your fat loss journey. I know you got so much value from today's video, so do well to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button so that this video can find other women that would really, really need this information. And do well to share this video, share to your WhatsApp status, share to Instagram, your Instagram story, and do well to tag me at Chisom Fit Academy on Instagram, and I will do well to repost. And I will see you on my next video. Toodles!